Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil and welcome back to another review, guys. I just got back from watching Captain America Brave New World, and you know what? This is actually good. I like this movie. I understand why people aren't crazy about it online and stuff, but I enjoyed myself. I did not love it. I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine more personally, but I'll get into more as to why I did not love this movie in the negative section of this review. But anyway, jumping right into it, for my pre-rating score, I'm going to say that Captain America Brave New World is a good movie, guys. Yes, going into it, I did not know what to expect, but I actually enjoyed myself. And the trailers made it look like it was going to have a very similar tone to Winter Soldier, the second Captain America movie, and Civil War. So there's that. And it did actually have that tone throughout. Like, there's a part of this movie like that I feel like they are trying to like make it feel like it has that light-hearted Marvel feel. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that they are trying to insert jokes in the movie, and I barely laughed at all. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I feel like this movie did not need to have that light-hearted MCU tone that we're used to seeing that Deadpool and Wolverine had and some other MCU movies had. This is the first time in a long time since maybe Civil War I've seen a serious MCU movie. It's more serious than Wakanda Forever even, because that movie actually had some fun light-hearted moments, which this movie is fun, and I'll give them credit for that. So jumping into the story without spoiling too much, basically there's something going on with Ross, there's something going on with Sam, and there's some other stuff going on in the background. Basically, if you've seen the trailer, you know what's to come, right? Red Hulk's in the movie. That's not a spoiler. He's in the trailer. Sam is Captain America. There's also Falcon here. That's not a spoiler. That's in the trailer. I'm just saying what's in the trailer. Now, I'm not going to say who the actual villain of this movie is because that's a spoiler. I don't want to ruin the experience for you guys, but some of you may know who it is, some of you may not. And the way that character looks, let me just say right off the bat, without spoiling and saying anything and giving anything away, not what I was expecting, but definitely better than Murdoch. That's what I'll say about that. Now, jumping into the positives of the review and the movie, the acting's good. I like the acting. There was some really solid performances. Harrison Ford, in particular, did a really good job here. I think this is probably one of my favorite Harrison Ford performances I've seen from him. I mean, I haven't seen like a ton of his films outside of like Star Wars and Indiana Jones, the Blade Runner films, but I do really like him in this movie. I thought that he did a really good job in this movie. Anthony Mackie also did good, and some of the other actors did well. And speaking of other actors, the characters, because that kind of relates, right? I like the characters. The characters in this movie was good. There's a female character that they introduced that was a lot cooler and more interesting than I thought she would be, just in terms of like what they did with the character. And even though she's not really fleshed out, I kind of still feel like they did the best that they could with her, given the short runtime, which I'll get into then the negative part of the review. Don't you worry, I will talk about that runtime there. But I will say that they used the character well, and they gave us enough info and backstory on as to who the character is. And I liked also Danny Ramirez in this movie. And speaking of characters, one was positive before I get into the negatives. There's interesting villains in this movie, guys. I like the villains. The villains are actually solid in this movie, especially the main villain. You kind of understand where he's coming from, and I always say that the best villains are the ones where you can either sympathize with, kind of surprisingly root for, and most importantly, understand where they're coming from. So there's that. Now, going into the negatives, this is where I think the movie starts to fall apart for me. It's that the biggest flaw of this movie is that it's too short. It needed a longer runtime. This movie felt like it just flew by like that. Like it feels like I just came and went from the mall where I watched the movie and bought some stuff, and I'm already back home. It's like, wow, okay, that was fast. But honestly, I feel like Kevin Feige knows that audiences just want, a lot of boom, bam, boom, and every like couple of seconds and minutes. But that's not good, guys. We need more story, more substance. Winter Soldier was perfectly placed, even though I did feel it a tad bit slow at times. That's just me personally. But I love that movie, and if this movie had that runtime, it would have been a lot better. But I guess they wanted it to feel more fast paced, like those old school political thrillers, which I'm okay with whatsoever. But I really wish this movie was longer than it was. Like without credits, this movie is not even a full 2 hours, guys. That's crazy. It kind of felt like the Marvels and Deadpool and Wolverine, which also I did say Deadpool Wolverine kind of felt rushed and short, guys. It needed a longer runtime like Spider-Man No Way Home. And this definitely could have been like Winter Soldier and Civil War in terms of long run time. So another thing also I feel like this new movie was kind of missing was the character development. It needed more character development. I feel like Danny Ramirez is the only character in this movie that actually got a solid little arc. Falcon, aka the new Captain America, he barely grew in my opinion. Even some of the other characters like Thaddeus Ross, I feel like maybe kind of grew. And the villain, or villains I should say. This is one of those movies that, because it's a solo MCU movie, it's not like Civil War, so I can be more forgiving in that case. But here, this is one of those standalone MCU movies that you really needed to care and see Sam grow as a person. Like in Winter Soldier, the second Captain America movie. I can't even say that word. What the hell? Anyway, Winter Soldier, that second Captain America movie. Like you saw Steve actually kind of grow. You know, like he was starting to adapt more to the environment and changes around him in the new modern world, basically. But he still, even though he still felt like the same guy from like the 1940s, he was slowly adapting and changing over time because not only did he have hours and stuff, but you know, he had to step up basically. And that rise to power, rise to action is always interesting around these movies. And you do see that here, but honestly, Sam doesn't have like the best and biggest arc in this movie. Obviously, this is just one piece of the puzzle to what's gonna happen later in the future. Which, by the way, I need to say that post-credit scene, I have some ideas, but obviously I'm not gonna say that's a spoiler. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how people react to the post-credit scene wise. People might be like, wait, what? What are they talking about? So there's that. And finally, for negatives, this needed more focus on Sam's story. This is a Captain America film, first and foremost. Yeah, at times it kind of feels like they ditch his story at times, and it feels more like an Incredible Hulk sequel, I feel like. Which this movie, if it was more of a Captain America film than an Incredible Hulk sequel, like Incredible Hulk 1.5 basically, it would have been a lot better, but no. The Hulk stuff definitely overshadowed the Cap stuff, and it felt more like a Hulk movie than a Captain America movie. Like, Red Hulk's in this movie, another Hulk as characters are in this movie, guys, so there's that. Also, it was cool that one person showed up in this movie, but if you know, like, this type of MCU tone and feel, it kind of makes sense for that character to show up, basically. I wish another character showed up, but I'm glad they didn't because it would have been, like, so obvious. But guys, overall, I enjoyed Brave New World. I did not love it. I barely laughed, but I appreciate them for going to a very simple, serious, grounded political thriller type of tone. You know, those paranoid thrillers. I still prefer Winter Soldier and Civil War. I don't know what the hell. I can't even say that word. But anyway, as a final score overall, I'm going to give Captain America Brave New World a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie, not a great movie, but I would recommend it. I mean, of course I would. It's an MCU movie. You guys are going to see it anyway. I don't know how to feel about Thunderbolts. I'm still very excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. That trailer was awesome, or should I say, that teaser trailer was awesome. We got to see Galactus. That's dope. And in terms of reviews coming up next for the channel, Mickey 17's comes out next month. I would love to see that in theaters. That's still one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It wasn't my top 10, so I would love to see it in the cinema. Snow White's coming out next month, but I would not see that in the cinema, even though I actually do want to see that movie. Just to see, is it actually good, or is it really, really bad? Like, I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding it, but I still want to check it out. And also, the Russo Brothers' new movie comes out next month on Netflix. Also, I have started One Piece Season 19, Whole Cake Island. I've seen the first 5 episodes, so a review should be out sometime next month. But guys, that's it. That's all I have to say for Captain America Brave New World. What did you guys think about this movie? Tell in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name is Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.